Yes, we're back. The Tommy Maroon Sports Show, episode number 247. Cannot wait to bring you it because we're going to talk Cleveland Guardians and high school football predictions before everything ends. Would you look at that? A new face, Mr. Lane Thomas, acquired from Washington, one of the two major deals that the Guardians had at the deadline, the other one being for Alex Cobb. Don't know when Alex Cobb's going to be going on the mound. Haven't seen him do it yet, which is kind of hard to believe. But anyways, looking at the team batting stats, 524 runs. This was heading into the doubleheader, by the way. So it's now 530 runs. And we see the Guardians with at least 900 hits, 183 doubles, 126, now I think 128 or 129 homers, 498 RBIs, I think, 326 walks, 814 strikeouts, a 242 team average, 313 on-base percentage, and a 714 OPS. And then you have the series recaps. The Guardians against the Orioles. Guardians split the series at 2. It was really a tale of two halves, I guess, of the series. Games 1 and 2, all Guardians. Games 3 and 4, all Baltimore. Jose Ramirez homered in Game 1, as did David Fry. As did Bo Naylor. Bo Naylor had a nice 3-run bomb. And Ben Lively had 6 innings of work. This is the game I'm talking about. The first game where the Guardians picked up the win in convincing fashion too. And then came Game 2 where the Guardians ultimately won that one as well. 8-4. The game before that was 10-3. Now in Game 2, we saw Austin Hedges and Josh Naylor cash in 2 RBIs. And the Guardians using not 1, not 2, 3, 4, or 5, but 6 pitchers in Game 2. My goodness, that's a lot. Third game was on Channel 8, and it saw the Guardians fall to those pesky Orioles 7-4, where we saw the pitcher for the Guardians and Joey Cantillo, a left-handed pitcher who was born in Hawaii. How about that? I did not know that till now. Angel Martinez 2-run homer. Jose Ramirez 2-run homer was not enough. No, sir. Game 4 saw Josh Naylor hit a 3-run bomb and Adley Rutschman cash in 3 runs for Baltimore. And Adley had the last laugh with a 9-5 win. But still, Josh Naylor, nothing to scoff at. And Corbin Burns came into town last time he pitched at Progressive Field. He threw 8 no-hit innings, part of a team no-hitter where his teammate Josh Hader, back when they were both in Milwaukee, teamed up to shut down the Guardians for what would be a record 3rd time having a 9-inning no-hitter against them in one season. Yeah, 2021 wasn't that fun to be a Cleveland baseball fan, considering the fact that no one could hit on that team. But it wasn't fun either being a Guardians fan over the past 3 days, because the first game was a 7-6 loss against the Diamondbacks, and things did not go any better outside of that. Jose Ramirez went 3 for 4 in Game 1. Stephen Kwan went 2 for 5. He carries his average to 334 at the time. Game 2 was a 7-3 beatdown by the Diamondbacks, which is never a good thing to see. What is good to see was that Josh Naylor homered, but Ben Lively had 5 innings intact with the loss. Meanwhile, Brandon Fad had 6.1, or Fad had 6.1 innings, 6 strikeouts in that game. And then in the second game of the doubleheader, they did not play on Tuesday due to pouring rain. Carlos Carrasco got teed off again. He has really been struggling immensely this season, which is quite a shame. What's not a shame is that Lane Thomas won 2 for 5 in the game. But still, things did not go well for the Guardians at all. And now it's a critical series against the Minnesota Twins. My goodness. If the Twins wind up sweeping the Guardians, which hopefully does not happen, but if it happens, which once again, hopefully it won't, that means, Alex Cobb's going tomorrow, by the way. That means the Twins will be in first place all to themselves in the division. And yikes, the Guardians are on a 5-game losing skid. And Minnesota's knocking on the door, 3.5 behind Cleveland, who is really been holding a commanding lead in that American League Central all season long. Minnesota and Kansas City trying to make life very uncomfortable for them. So there is that. And you know what there also is? There's also high school football predictions once again. Yes, sirree. Would you look at that? We're doing one half of the Chagrin Valley Conference. We're doing the Lake Division. Chagrin Division will be the Metro Division and I forgot what the other one is. I gotta check the divisions. But anyways, we'll do the other ones. But anyways, looking at it, the Geneva Eagles will be winning that one. The Lake Division, 73-4-1. Valley Division, that's what it's, the Valley Division. Good God, I'm sorry for that. I'm very sorry, I didn't realize that. I knew it was something that was escaping my memory. And the Cano Spartans also 7-3, but they'll be 3-2. Speaking of 3-2 teams, you got the Madison Blue Streaks and East Lake Dragons. Madison going 6-4, East Lake going 5-5. The Edgewood Warriors are going to be over 500 this year, in my opinion. 6-4, 2-3. Meanwhile, the Jefferson Area Falcons, who hit rock bottom last year, 0-10. I think they're going to improve with a 2-8 record this year, but still not fun for them to say the least. Last year was not a good season for them. They lost all their games, and looking at it, there weren't really any close games either. So there's one way to go when you go down, and that's up. And speaking of being all the way up in the Chagrin Division, the Perry Pirates on top. The Perry Pirates won Division 5 last year, courtesy of a 21-14 win over Liberty Center in the playoffs. That was really their only game that season where they had some issues, but still pulled out the win nonetheless. This year, Perry is in Division 4, and they're in the same district as Glenville. That's going to be a good game to watch. Perry and Lake County, Glenville, of course, in Cleveland. That is actually going to be fun. That is probably what the Division 4 Region 13 finals will come down to. But anyways, Perry 9-1, 5-0. Hawk and Hawks 6-4, 3-2. Harvey Red Raiders 4-6, 3-2. Then with two teams that are going to go 2-3, you have the West Geauga Wolverines and the Lutheran West Longhorns, with West Geauga going 5-5 and Lutheran West going 3-7. And the Orange Lions will be sitting in the basement, unfortunately, 3-7, 0-5. Now, as you expect with a ginormous conference like that, with 24 teams all together, and we only looked at 12 this week. We'll look at the other 12 next week in the Valley and Metro divisions. But anyways, the big non-division games, you can sure expect a lot of them. Grand Valley at Cano will be week 1. Geneva will play University week 1. Madison Perry is also week 1. Another big week 1 game, Harvey against Rocky River. I'm going with the Pirates in that one. Got to pull up my Google Sheets to see who I think is going to do it. By the way, I looked it over on the radio. We are going to look at 100 schools all together in high school football this year once it all rounds out next week. Golly, Neds, can't believe the season's almost over. Or the off season's almost over, excuse me. But yeah, anyways, looking back on it, West Geauga plays the Kensington Bombers week 2, and then the next week they play, they play Aurora. I think both games will wind up being losses. And they have Lakeside week 4, Edgewood week 5. And then Perry plays Kirtland. Ooh, boy, that's a D5 state champion against a D6 state champion. I'm going with the Kirtland Hornets this time. We'll talk about more about that next week once we look at Kirtland. Yeah, spoiler alert, Kirtland's in the CVC, the Chagrin Valley Conference. But anyways, more on that. Madison playing Holy Name on week 4. Who do I have winning that one? Madison or Holy Name? I got Madison. The Blue Streaks. They're going to lose their first two, lose their last two, and win all the games in between. That's a 6-4 record, of course. And Perry at Geneva, Week 5. I'm going with the Pirates. Big division games. Yes, big division games include Geneva against Cano, Week 7. Lakeside against Geneva, Week 8. Geneva playing Madison, Week 9. So there is that. And Hawk and Harvey also Week 9. And Perry, West Geauga, Week 9. And then to close out the season, Perry plays Hawken and Cano plays Madison. I think Perry's going to win the games against West Geauga and Hawken. Madison will lose to Geneva and Cano. And we'll see how things roll for all the schools out there. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a great season, to say the least, in the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Who do I think is going to win state championships? I don't know, because that's almost way too complicated. You got to do the Harbin points, and Joe Idle does a dandy of a job at that. He seems to be a cool dude. He's dedicated so many years of high school football with the points and playoffs, and the OHSA says he does a good job, and who could blame him? I think he does a great job. But yeah, enough of that. We got to talk to you about some exciting stuff, which includes next week, which will be episode number 248, which will be more high school football stuff. And then episode number 249 will be the return of Tommy's picks. Yes, it will be back. I can't wait to bring you my picks. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to hopefully go undefeated. And then the next week will be the NFL preview show and episode number 250, which means I am 25% of the way there, hopefully, to getting one of those portraits of myself, those caricatures of myself. I hope, pray to God, that I get one. And then the next week after that, it will be episode 251, which will be the return of Tommy's picks for the NFL. I plan on doing both FBS and Division III college football this year. So that means 4 picks. High school, D3, FBS, NFL. Of course, last year I correctly predicted the Chiefs to beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl at the wee beginning of the season. And I had to retire. Well, just kidding, I'm coming out of retirement, actually. But still, I hope you look forward to it. That is it. Tommy Maroon Sports Show is done. I can't wait to talk to you next week. Till then, goodbye, everybody.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.